A sanctuary broadcast.
Good morning, one and all. Good afternoon, good evening, guten Tag. Hola, welcome, one and all. I hope you're all having an amazing day. We have myself and we have Bear today.
Konnichiwa gozaimasu.
Yes. See. Yes, we know all the languages here. So we have Bear here today.
Ni hao.
So, Bear, I think we're going to start off today talking about something that you're doing on your stream and what we're doing as a group as well. So I think you should take it away with your new charity.
Yeah, sure. So you guys all know we together this year have raised £1,000 for Mind UK, and that is, firstly, I just want to say that's an incredible accomplishment for everyone because we've all done this together. So everyone should honestly feel absolutely fucking amazing and proud about it. Apologies for the swear word, but I'm really passionate about helping these kind of causes, and seeing people get behind them like that was incredible. So I thought after a few months of not really doing anything major like that, it was time to try and pick a new cause to try and help out. And I had to go with the cause that was closest to my heart, which is autism. So for those of you who don't know, I am very slightly on the spectrum, so I am autistic. I have a cousin who is second cousin technically, who is severely on the spectrum. I've known many a person who is just on, or is very on, or extremely on the spectrum. I know there are technical phrases for it. I myself just talk about it as a spectrum because it is, and also because it's more diplomatic that way. But the gist of it is that there is 1 in every 100 children in the UK who has autism. Sorry, completely losing my wording there. So if you imagine 1 in every child in the UK has autism, 4 times as many being boys, that's a lot of people with autism. And it also goes to partially explain one of the big problems in the UK, which is when you have that many people potentially being autistic, and the process of diagnosing them being as complicated as it is, you get a backlog. And the average wait time for a diagnosis in the UK is 5 years. I mean, to put it into context, imagine suffering from depression, or imagine suffering from anxieties. Imagine all those kind of problems. And a lot of people with autism do find actually with autism, it's quite common for them to have anxiety or depression as well. I digress. Imagine that you have these problems, or imagine having something physical wrong with you and it takes 5 years to get a diagnosis. 5 years. Now, with a lot of these physical things, obviously, there are cures and things. For autism, it's like a lot of mental health conditions. There isn't so much a cure as there is a way of kind of managing, coping, ways of moving with it and getting through it. And, I myself will always be autistic, but I have ways of coping with some of the negative kind of aspects of it. But imagine for 5 years, you don't know if you've got it or not, and you don't know why you feel the way you feel, and you're not able to get that kind of support. Honestly, it's that kind of experience that I'm learning more and more about from other people that made me kind of go, well, I want to help where I can. And I wanted to start in the UK. And the best place to do it was a charity like Child Autism UK. Now, you will all know I've tried to raise money for National Autistic Society. That's a very different kind of charity. That's one that does a lot more campaigning, a lot more lobbying in the higher powers. And that kind of work is essential as well. But Child Autism UK is a more direct service that helps people then and there who are literally in need. And I thought for this Christmas we should start a campaign where for £150 between us, we would raise enough money to help fund the helpline that they have for the people who are waiting for as long as they are. It would help fund it for a day. And what makes this helpline so unique and so important is it doesn't just help children with autism. It doesn't help the families who have children with autism. it also is there for adults who are also going through similar wait times, who are also trying to understand life as it is for them. It's there for them, it's there for kids, it's there for anyone. And I know that there are a lot of things going on in the world right now, but it does seem that this is a problem that's existed before the problems, and that we kind of need to work together on to try and resolve even afterwards. And I think there's no better time than now to start.
Originally, for a bit of history on autism, I was looking this up as you was talking. It was originally probably known as Kanner syndrome. It's because there was a guy called Leo Kanner who, in 1943, was talking about a specific pattern of abnormal behaviour. Early infant, also known as early infantile autism. Kanner made no estimation as the number of people or anything like that, but later on he described the rate as 4.5%. I think that's a little bit higher. I think Lotta was the one who decided that. But that's how long that we've known about autism, or in some form of speaking about it. And it's amazing to think that we are still learning so much about it, because we're learning different ways of techniques and how coping mechanisms, and because there's no one size fits all in any of these issues. And I think that's why it's important that we help these charities, because they can help discover how you handle yourself within the spectrum. Saying that it's not until like recent studies, you like talking in your 2000s, that you really started talking about an autism spectrum, and we started to get more and more information about it. So it took a long time to get to where we currently are, to be working on everything that we currently have, like the support networks. So it's not perfect what we currently have, but hopefully we'll get there and we'll improve as we move forwards as well.
Agreed. It's why, for example, you get a lot of people speculating who would have been autistic, but obviously, it's a very recent development. So Isaac Newton, who often is speculated as being autistic, wouldn't not have known he was autistic and would not have understood autism, as it were. But people looking back would have said he was. It's an interesting topic. It's one I would love to debate further. A lot about the representation as well, in particular. I mean, I'm happy to debate that now, or wait for a ducky hour.
I'm thinking a ducky hour would be a good one. If you didn't see our first podcast that we did with Ducky, you go back and check last week's out. It was absolutely awesome.
The man. There are very few men who talk like he does, with such passion and in such a way that gets you hyped for whatever it is that he is discussing, even if it's just a video game series. But he does it, and he does it beautifully, has to be said.
So we're definitely going to talk more about autism and everything that goes along with autism, and hopefully get a little bit more knowledge out there. And we'll have the right people to discuss it, hopefully, like talking about having children with autism. So which Ducky has, his daughter, I believe, has got autism, and he's on the and he's an autistic adult as well. Trying to get my wording correct here.
Well, I'd love to discuss with him as well, because everyone has a different way of experiencing life with it. I'd be very keen to kind of compare.
It would be amazing. Now, there's something else that you brought up today.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just got 2 words written down on this one. Nintendo Land.
Yes. So, to take the podcast into something a bit less serious and a bit more jovial, Nintendo this week released videos and footage and pictures of their brand new theme park or area of a theme park, I should say, in Universal Studios, Osaka, Japan. And it looks incredible. So for people who don't know, there is, firstly, I mean, normally I'd leave this till last, but I think we both agree that we've got to start with the headline attraction, don't we?
Which is?
They have Mario Kart. They have recreated Mario Kart and Bowser's Castle. So, as I understand it, they have mixed an element of VR and like the and a roller coaster set in Bowser's Castle, and it looks absolutely incredible what they've built there. They've built like the carts that you'd see on the front cover of Mario Kart 8 as well, that you'll be in.
Okay, interesting.
And they've just the whole park itself looks incredible. I'm just reading through it now, actually, because I'm just looking at pictures and things, and they've designed it beautifully. You do feel like you're in the Mushroom Kingdom while you're there. Apparently, they're going to be selling foods and drinks based on the Mushroom kind of Kingdom and the Mario series. I wasn't sure what to make of this. Apparently, they've got green and red coloured pancake snacks designed like Mario's hat. Uh, I, as a Westerner from Britain, I'm very skeptical over food colouring of that degree, but you know, it's Japan. It will probably taste amazing.
Firstly, when you're talking about Mushroom Kingdom, I've got the complete wrong end of the stick on that one.
There's also a power-up band which you'll get as a visitor. And the only description I have of this is that it is innovative wearable technology that will help bring the gameplay to life while allowing guests to keep their score. People wearing the power-up band will be able to punch blocks, collect virtual coins, just like Mario and Luigi do on the video games.
No! I don't know whether I'm horrified or deeply in love with this idea.
There's also a kids ride based on Yoshi. Another track-based ride from what I can tell. And they've also got a VR game where you're going to be throwing bombs and things at Bowser Jr. in his flying carts. And honestly, just look at the pictures of Mario Land and tell me you don't feel like you're in the video game, because it just looks absolutely incredible.
Okay, I'll definitely have to take a look at those photos at some point. That sounds amazing.
Indeed. Although, you know, as a big fan of your Planet Coasters and theme park worlds, as I am, it does lead me to question for you in particular: is there a game series you'd like to see as a theme park?
There's definitely some game series that would work as a maybe not theme parks, but like rides and stuff. Okay, yeah, maybe. I'd like to. It's not really a theme. It's not really a theme park, but there is one place that I would like to see recreated, and that's from Final Fantasy VII. Yes, I managed to get Final Fantasy VII, and anybody who had that on their bingo card.
Oh, the Final Fantasy VII theme park with that terrible song. Oh no.
Yeah, you know the theme park I'm talking about when I talk about Final Fantasy VII. It's just like an all-you-can-get like entertainment park, not a theme park really. Where you have like chocobo racing and things like that. So it was the Golden Saucer is called. That would be amazing. I'd pay money to go to the Golden Saucer. That would interest me a lot. As for things that like go-karting would like with like a Mario spin would be quite fun. That'd be quite
That's
fun.
That's what I think they've got planned as well.
Because as long as I get the blue shell when you're in the lead and it just like bonks on your head, that'll do me. I mean that's the way forward, I think. The blue shells do like fly in the sky, don't they, these days? I think they do.
I think they do, yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely that'd be quite interesting. Or if there was a way of like cutting this, no, but yeah.
There's one I'd love to have seen in its heyday, but sadly I didn't have the money and I was too young to go to it. It would have been awesome. Do you remember in 2005 there was Poker Park?
Yes.
Like, that was supposed to travel around the world, and it only did Nagoya, Japan, and Taiwan. And I look at it and go, why did you never come to the West? The amount of people who love Pokemon who would happily go to the Pokemon theme park.
Can you imagine waltzers, but they was like Pokeballs instead?
Oh, now that would be a winner.
Um,
I just love how I'm looking through the pictures of it from 2005, and I'm looking around going, yeah, like for example, there's a fishing game with Magikarp. Like already, you're onto a winner there.
yeah, I like that idea. That all your fountains could be like Gyarados and stuff like that. So there is a lot of scope, definitely for like. But then you could go along the lines of Just Cause, Lara Croft, and places like things like that for your more adult rides. Even though Pokemon's for adults, don't at me.
Well, with your Lara Croft, in theory, you could have the PlayStation Land. I could see that actually. God of War, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, I guess.
You'd have to have your sandwich shops would have to be called the Jill Sandwich.
Oh God, no. Um,
You was nearly a
um,
Jill sandwich.
you'd also have The Last of Us. Yeah, I can see. To be fair, I could see Xbox Land as well. You know, centered around Forza Horizon go karting and Halo paintball or
Halo's the
something.
only one that I could really think of when I was thinking of it. Of course, Forza, but yeah, Halo was the only big one I could think of. Fable, even.
Ooh, so you have the whole theme park Fable style. Now that would be pretty cool. Make it happen, Xbox. Make it happen.
That would be pretty cool. Imagine. See, I can't really think of any that you'd have in the in a PC version because obviously it's more separated if you start talking about PC. So PC is a lot harder to think about. So you can't have like PC World. Well,
No, you can. It's a shopping brand in UK.
damn it. um,
I mean, you could have Steam World, I guess.
that would be
Phasmophobia
interesting.
House.
See, I could get behind that ghost house.
Hell yeah.
Or ghost prison, maybe.
Although, could you imagine if they'd done a ghost house based on Silent Hills PT?
Let's not imagine this. This is like dangerous ground, very dangerous ground.
This is you've created a attraction that is mere mental torture.
Yes, definite mental torture. Silent Hill was a fantastic game series, though. Surprised that something's not been done with right Resident Evil as a series as well. That'd be quite interesting. I've also wanted to do a zombie experience. That would be my mate got one for London, I think it was, but she hates going to cities, so she never actually went.
Oh.
She got it for her birthday a few years back, probably about 4 years back now. But she doesn't like going into cities and such.
I'm a townie. I'm a country lad that does like going into towns, so it kind of is okay for me. I don't mind staying a couple of days in London. I wouldn't want to live in London for the rest of my life, but if you were to tell me for a job you were living in London for a year or two, I could probably do it in the grand scheme of life. You know.
It'd be an interesting thing for me to try to go live in a city because it would definitely push me out my comfort zone a lot.
I found it was. I think, to be honest, with the wrong support network, it's not the most ideal situation because I did it for would have been 2 years, and on the one hand, the convenience, like I literally lived 5 minutes from game. The convenience of I'm going to wake up at 8:40, I'm going to shower, I'm gonna get dressed, just literally gonna wander over, pick up the game, go home. Like, that was handy. Well, also don't forget breakfast once I've got the game, but whereas now I am forever relying on an Amazon delivery, which It's like most of the country, really, because I live in a town that doesn't have its own dedicated game resource anymore. We just have
I
Rangers.
Do you know there was that big thing about shop locally, and people was there going, "It matters where you shop."
Yeah,
I
it's a
just,
great campaign for a city, but it is a
I
terrible
decided
campaign for us.
to take a look at the amount of the amount of Amazon orders I've done this year.
It's hard.
212 separate orders.
That's the thing, though. It's like it's so easy for a city to have that decision, but for the rural places like ours, we don't really have a choice. So we do go to other online retailers, but like when it comes to a brand new release game, and I hate to be critical of Game, a UK brand for those of you who aren't UK based, my experiences have been that they've rarely given me the game on release day. And when you get a game you really want to play, like I will say, I discovered this week Microsoft and Xbox do have a unique little service where, let's say, I order a game, yeah?
Yes.
I order Cyberpunk as an example. Because it's from Microsoft, they will automatically download it to the console so you can play it from the moment it's released before the disc arrives, which I know means the question, why do you get a disc for it and such? But there are some people obviously like to buy and sell games and do the whole pre-order things, pre-owned thing, which is pretty cool. But I found that quite a useful
There's a lot
service
of
because the
disc
idea is
collectors
if
as well.
Amazon or Game are late with your delivery,
Yeah,
you
there's a
can
lot
still
of
play
disc
it.
collectors as well, so they like their discs and they like the
Oh
extras
yeah.
you get with your discs. Because talking about disc collectors, are you not one? I saw what you got with, like, is it Life is Strange?
Oh yeah. I like when a game gives you a bit of a benefit. So one of the things that I found both great and terrible is there are some games that make too many versions of themselves now. An example being Call of Duty. I think I counted there were 6 or 7 different versions of the same game. There's like the basic of all basics. Then there's like one that gets you a little bit of online content. Then the second that gets you a little bit more online content. Then there was like a third that went, here's a steel tin with the online content. Then there was like a fourth that kind of by the end you were virtually buying yourself like a day's trip in a helicopter or something with the game. You just kind of think, I get what you're doing, but we don't need that many versions of a game. With Life is Strange, they came up with effectively, or Life is Strange Before the Storm, there's a very basic online version, and then if you get the disc version, you can get it with a CD of the soundtrack of the game. And if anybody has been watching me play it, they will have heard me absolutely raving about that soundtrack for the whole of the time I've been playing it. So I was happy with that. And you get an art book as well, which you can't complain at. And costumes online, but anyone who knows me knows I'm not that fussed by the online cosmetics usually. I mean, it takes something pretty special to make me kind of go, yes.
Sweet Caroline. That is not in Life is Strange. But Life is Strange does have amazing music. I am a massive fan of Life is Strange music. And
Yes.
they certainly know how to hit the spot.
They've got a feel. There's a certain kind of song that you can hear and go, that is a Life is Strange song, or that is a tune that should be in there, and they just nail it every time.
I was playing with the Twitch soundtrack, wasn't I? And I was like, this song just reminds me of Life is Strange. It's not a Life is Strange song, it was a completely different song.
But it's got that kind of moody feel. Like, this song, you can imagine it being a teenager and slamming its door every night.
Most definitely. Oh, Chloe. But yes, that was always there is always a special place in my heart for games with good soundtracks.
Oh yeah,
Strange definitely up there. So that takes us to about the end of this. Really, we're running out of time now.
Indeed.
If you would like to know where to get hold of and watch The Roving Bear, it's www.twitch.tv/The Roving Bear. For myself, it's TV/Bareth87, BARETH. And Sophie, who's not here at the moment, it is Sophibubbles. Her sleep pattern is amazing, by the way.
Pardon?
Did I spell it right? I think I did.
You did. Just to quickly also add, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Deezer, is it?
Yes, on Deezer, Spotify.
There are other places as well where you can get these podcasts from, and you can also see and hear them on YouTube.
We say see, there's no videos, but yeah.
Well, you get a nice view of our logo. You can basically what we're saying is YouTube as well will have other content from us coming real soon, but it's worth being aware of all these different places where you can find the sanctuary.
Yes. Yes, indeed-a-roo. And so that kind of leaves us to the end of this first podcast of Christmas kind of thing. I don't know how many weeks now to Christmas there is. But I hope you all...
19 days to go.
19 days. Ugh. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'm going to leave it with the one, the only, the amazing, the roving bear to sign out.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you all today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the topics. If you got any comments, please do fire them down, especially to you guys on the YouTube. If you do comment, we do see them, we do read them, and we do appreciate them. I hope you guys have an incredible week, and I look forward to talking to you all again on another podcast. Beep, beep. You've been listening to a Sanctuary broadcast. We will now resume regular programming.